Welcome back. I know you're just dying to find out the result of the noble experiment. The last time I came back in here and had a look at my rudder cheeks, the epoxy had cured, but it had cured soft and rubbery. That was day before yesterday. Today I came back and I went at it with some sandpaper, and it has hardened fairly hard. But when I went to sand it, the result was kind of interesting. Remember when you're in grade 3 and you had to do math and you got something wrong and the teacher would make you erase it with those nasty little pink erasers, and you got all this rolled up rubber? Well, that's what basically happened. The epoxy seems to have turned to some form of rubber and just came off, rolled up. So it's definitely not a failure, but I wouldn't do this again. I would dye the wood first and then cover it with epoxy. That's what I did. Originally, it worked just fine. So I am going to re-dye this. I've sanded the wood down because it looked so rough, and of course in some places I've gone back down to the bare wood. So I'll put a little bit of dye on it to make it match the rest, and then when that has dried up, I will epoxy coat it again. So another couple of days work, but no biggie. Things worked out remarkably well. I sanded the tarnations out of the pieces of wood, and then I re-stained the wood, and I was quite surprised and very pleased that the stain actually bit into the penetrating epoxy and stuck. So it looks marvelous. Have a look. There it is. This is the piece that had the where I'd sanded it, the wood came through. This is the cap, and I sanded it right down, and it looks fine. That piece there, I scuffed it a little bit in preparation for a final coat of epoxy resin on that. So that piece is a little bit ahead of these pieces, but that's where we are with that. In other news, I did some work on the cap rails. These are the S pieces that sit up on the bulwark, and I had drilled right through them and then filled the holes up with epoxy and then re-drilled them with the I don't know what you call it, the little drill that makes a hole for the screw head as well as the screw. So this piece here, that's all I did to it. I just drilled the holes and then drilled for the screws. This piece here, I had missed one of the holes, so I filled it with epoxy. And when I was sanding the whole thing down, I noticed that there was still a split. I had repaired it on the back side, right there. But the front side, as I was sanding it, I realized that it was a little rough, so I filled that one too. That won't look very good, but that's just the way it's going to have to be. So tomorrow I will drill out that one that needs to be drilled out. I will epoxy resin them. I will epoxy resin the rudder cheeks. And on Saturday, which is 2 days from now, I'll be able to come back and start installing stuff, because this, ta-da! One of the reasons that I was having problems with those S pieces was it called for dolphinite. Now, it's very difficult to get dolphinite anymore. And I did a bunch of Googling around, and this is what I found as an alternative. This is Interlux 214 natural color, so it's going to be kind of a beige, but it's boatyard bedding compound. From what I can tell, it looks like it is composed of the exact same stuff as dolphinite. So I'll smear it on the backside of the S pieces and put it down on the bulwark, and hopefully that should be enough to provide a platform for the wood, stop water getting in, and give it a little bit of support so that any hardware that goes on top of it won't crack it. So with the S pieces on, with the bedding compound, the boomkin is ready to go back on, and so is the bowsprit. Bowsprit being as big and as awkward as it is, I think I will probably put it on without mounting any of the hardware on it because it's heavy enough. I will likely be mounting that by myself. So I'll probably mount the brackets, these green guys, they'll be painted white. These will support the bowsprit platform. So I'll have to put those on the bowsprit. But other than that, that's all I'm going to do to it before I mount it. And then once it's on the boat, I will mount the anchor rollers and the bowsprit platform. But that's how close we are. We're very, very, very close. So all in all, good day. We're making slow but steady progress. So as always, fair winds, following seas, and God bless.